How's it going, YouTube? Yeah, Pat Mac here, coach for the Sacramento Sandslash, bringing you a draft analysis for the Feisty Friends Little Cup League. This is in the TGR server. We're playing in the Hatena division. As you can see from the draft order, we were pick number 5 in the draft. And before I start talking about our team, let me give a couple of shout outs. First shout out is to Marshadow. I was kind of like floating the idea of doing a little cup league after a couple people in our server had mentioned that it might be interesting, and I wasn't 100% sure how I was going to run it or putting together a tier list or anything like that, and Marshadow stepped forward and messaged me about putting it together, so big shout out to him. I don't think this really would have happened if he hadn't been interested and stepped up to put it together, so big thanks to Marshadow on all that stuff. So. And big shout out over to Brave. The graphics that you can see here and graphics that you'll see for most of the Little Cup League were created by Brave. And actually there's a lot of graphics for the TGR Restricted League that Brave put together too. So big shout out to them for putting together all these amazing graphics. They look so good. I'm so excited to use them for our videos and for all the other content creators. So. Okay, so let's actually get into the team. As you can see, we were pick number 5, so smack dab in the middle. And I think that one of the things that isn't really talked about too much in terms of draft analysis is like how your pick order can affect like what you decide to draft. So like, for example, if you're on the edges, so like picks kind of 1, 2, 3, or like 8, 9, 10, then I think you can try to draft a lot of like high synergy picks, so picking things like a Lowland Vulpix and a Lowland Sandslash, for example. I don't know why that came to mind. Freaking love Sandslash though. Or not a Lowland Sandslash. You would pick up a Lowland Vulpix and a Lowland Sandshrew for this. Oh man, freaking love Sandslash. Alright, anyway, so like picking like high synergy picks like that on the edges. Whereas I think that if you're kind of in the middle of the draft order, then you want to try to pick Pokemon that fit along with like a lot of different draft plans, or that are just super flexible on their own. And so let's go and take a look at our team. Since I was in the middle, I went for things that kind of worked in a general sense. So like a lot of the Pokemon you can see here don't necessarily have like really high synergy with each other. I think probably like the most synergistic picks I have are probably like Scraggy Growlithe using like Beat Up Justified. Like that's probably as synergistic as it gets. Everything else on the team is kind of like a catch-all Pokemon. Like they can do a lot of things. And so that's one of the things I think I love about this team is how much variety and flexibility all of our Pokemon have. And don't get me wrong, like they all fill a very specific role as well as being just kind of generally flexible. I think probably like Corphish and Rhyhorn, for example, are like very heavy physical attackers, right? Like they're not really doing anything aside from that. And at the same time, like they can work in and out of Trick Room, mostly in Trick Room, but Corphish does have like priority Aqua Jet, so like it can work out of it too. But then we also have like Yamask, who can serve as like a Trick Room setter, or it could like max and hit really hard with like very good defenses. We also have like Natu, who can set Trick Room, or could like Dynamax for Airstream boost, so I think it can like synergize and work really well with some flexibility. And then of course we already talked about like the Beat Up Justified combinations with Scraggy and Growlithe, but like they also could just be like heavy Intimidate support and really serve to like weaken physical defenses that can threaten some of our other Pokemon, such as like Voodoo, who has like crazy low physical defense. Or like Baneri, who can serve as like a fake out user with like a bunch of support moves. Or it could Dynamax, right? It's like one of the faster Pokemon in Little Cup and like has a fairly good attack stat. So that's one of the things I kind of love about this team is how flexible it is while having Pokemon that can go into a specific role and do the job very well. So very excited to use the team. I think it's got some good options in terms of just like fast modes as well as slow modes. I think probably The slow mode with like Yamaska and Natu setting Trick Room is probably a little bit better than our faster mode, but like we do also have like Natu who can set up some max airstreams for us. That's probably our fast mode, so that's probably about as good as it gets in terms of quickness. But then we also have some like faster threats to follow that up with, like Baniri or Electrike, as being some of the faster-ish Pokemon in Little Cup. But one of the things that I think is really interesting about Little Cup, and something that came into the tier system, was there's not a whole lot of Prankster users for Little Cup, and then not all of the Prankster users have speed control, even like a Tailwind or a Thunder Wave or something like that. So it was very interesting to put together a draft for Little Cup, just because oftentimes even when you play like a restricted league like our other TGR series, or if you play just kind of like a regular VGC, then a lot of times you can pick up Prankster mons, like the full evolutions like Liepard or Grimmsnarl, for example, or Whimsicott, right? Or you end up going for some of the baby ones, right? So you pick up like Morgrum for like screens and T-Waves, or you pick up like Purloin for T-Waves or things like that. Or you pick up like Fletchinder to grab like Gale Wings, Tailwind. So the amount of options for like really fast speed control for Little Cup was a little bit different. So I think the team that we have is going to work really well. I'm really excited to use this squad. I think it's got a good mix of abilities, and there's some Pokemon that like I've never used before. Like I've never even considered or thought about using Shelmet, for example. But I think Shelmet's going to be kind of cool. I think it's got some good options, so I'm kind of excited to try it out. Anyway, if you're interested in checking out some more of our Little Cup content, keep an eye on the channel here, like, subscribe, and all that stuff, and we'll catch you on the next video.